your kind of company.
Tonight on Ctv3 News, Orange Wakenio accused of raping his ex-common law wife. Mexican national Javier Martinez expelled from Belize. PCC speaks on 11th Amendment, and consumer price index continues on the rise. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Wednesday, August 30th, 2023.
Clínica Nueva Esperanza started 9 years ago with the hope that we would be able to give our services to the area where we are located. We have been giving up to now what is angiology and vascular surgery, and also general medicine. The NHI came about earlier on this year, and we saw the possibility of taking it on and giving this much needed service to our community. I am a family medicine specialist. Before, I was a vascular surgeon, and it has always been my desire of giving this service to the people of Orange Walk. People have accepted the NHI. As you knock on their doors, they are happy to receive us, to register. And once they know what exactly is going on, they will call in, not for just themselves, but for their relatives as well, and their neighbors. Now, there are a lot of people as well that I think before they didn't see the need of having a social security card, but now, because of the NHI, they all want to get registered with the social security so that they can access also the services. A lot of the patients that were coming to this clinic were very happy to actually, now you can come, you can register, and you will have the services free of cost. So why not?
Good evening. With your news, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. 31-year-old Javier Montano Martinez has been expelled from Belize after paying another fine for an immigration offense, ending the brief saga of an alleged Mexican drug cartel seeking out a Belizean drug dealer on a hit. Montano returned to court on a charge of failure to comply with the conditions of an employment permit, but attorney Brian Neal raised an objection in court. Neal was asked to write out the objection and then present it orally in court. The substance was that the immigration department had had his client in their custody for up to 11 days, far longer than the Constitution allows, and is so a violation of Martinez's constitutional rights, even though he is only a guest of Belize. Further, said Neal, at the point when it was thought that the department was done with Martinez, they added a new charge and committed an abuse of process as no new facts appeared to be before the court on the matter. He concluded that the department, in his view, was abusing the law and using the court to punish his client because they knew that a fine would not do so, and he humbly asked the court to not allow the new charges to be read to his client. Answering for the department, Assistant Director of Border Management and Immigration Services, Ismael Cesar Pollido, said that Martinez was first detained by the Belize Police Department before being handed to them, and that it was based on that investigation that new developments led to additional charges. Neal subsequently withdrew the objection, and Martinez conceded to employing 5 Mexican nationals at Tecon Construction Limited in Ladyville, who it appears did not have their documentation. He forthwith paid a fine of $1,000, reduced from the maximum $3,000, despite his previous conviction. Martinez's workers had been discovered by police on August 20 at an apartment at Lake Gardens, Ladyville, as well as at a house under construction. Martinez himself and 6 others were picked up around 12:30 in downtown Corozal. The other 6, with addresses ranging from Cancun to Puebla and Guadalajara in central Mexico, were released earlier this week. Orange Walk police are tonight investigating an alleged case of rape. The complaint was filed by a woman who says she was raped by her ex-common law husband. According to police, on Monday, August 28, a 27-year-old Belizean woman of Orange Walk District reported that on Sunday at about 2:55 a.m., whilst at home, her ex-common law husband entered the house, assaulted her, and had sexual intercourse with her against her will. As mentioned, police are investigating. There was war inside the House of Representatives at its last sitting. That's because the Briseño administration resuscitated the 11th Amendment that it obviously not sitting well with the leader of the opposition. The leader of the UDP, Honorable Shine Baru, is the opinion that the amendment is set out to target him and seeks to expel him from politics and strike down his possibilities of one becoming the Prime Minister of Belize. But the essence of the 11th Amendment goes far beyond the self-centered proclamation of Barrow, as it focuses on narrowing down on transparency and accountability for future leaders who wish to run for government office. In fact, Barrow has stated that the amendment bill is beyond the purview of government, who agreed that the People's Constitution Commission be charged with engaging all things surrounding Constitution, and as such should decide based on the public's opinion if the 11th Amendment deems engagement at this time. When the press spoke to Anthony Chanona, the chairman of the PCC, he told us what the group's position is on the matter.
I was asked that question this morning, and my response is that among commissioners, there has been mixed reaction. There were those who felt very strongly that the government was not to go into that area, but the prevailing view of the commission at the meeting we had in January, on January 28th in Belize City, when other issues had surfaced on the same principle, the prevailing view of the commission at that time, it wasn't on the 11th Amendment, it was on the principles of visiting the Constitution while this process was going on. The prevailing position was that the remit of the commission was to review the Constitution, consult, review, and report. And we did not want to step over into governance issues. So that is the official position. We have not met as a commission since the 11th Amendment was tabled to have taken a formal position on that one specific issue.
But the fact that it's been stayed in essence means that, at least this is my understanding, that it will be left to be addressed under the PCC process in the end.
Well, it could be one of several issues, if that is what the people of Belize would say. For example, one of the things that people have been saying is that they do not want the government to have the liberty. Under the current constitution, there's a certain threshold that's triggered once you meet 3/4% of the seats of the House. They want to have the constitution harder to amend and that it be done by referendum. So it is trying to curb the government's power to just trigger a change in. And if you look at the last 10 amendments, the minute governments and respective governments have reached the threshold, the first thing they go and touch is the Constitution. So people are saying nothing wrong with touching the Constitution, But if we have gone through this process for 18 months and we come up with a constitution or recommendations to constitution, then the government could turn around in the next election and just start changing things again. And they're saying no. Any changes following this change must be done by referendum and binding referendum.
Again, even though Shine Barrow sees the 11th Amendment bill as an attack to end his political career since he has been convicted of a crime, in reality the bill carries other sections. Section 58(1)(a) of the draft amendment bill disqualifies persons who have served a prison sentence of more than 12 months outside Belize. On the other hand, subsection DB adds provisions for those whose sentence is still in effect or ongoing. Lastly, Section 59(3)(a) disqualifies persons who have been convicted for offenses related to corruption and abuse of public office or for election-related offenses. As we told you, the Present administration brought back to life the 11th Amendment at the last House sitting. It was rallied heavily but passed its second reading but failed to go through its third reading. But why was it stayed? Darrell Bradley, a vocal presenter and attorney at law, gave his perspective on the 11th Amendment.
Comment to be very clear, because it's very important, and I don't want it to be against any one government. But the Constitution is a document that is the people's document, and it ought not lightly to be tinkered with or changed for light reasons. One of the things that I had said around the point that this constitutional amendment came up, the 11th Amendment, I don't know, and I teach, I practice law, I'm on the radio a lot, I have a lot of friends, I go around and I move around in society a lot. So I generally know, or I could say what people think. I mean, I know generally what people think. I listen to the radio, I listen to crime a lot, I listen to what's going on. I am involved with union people a lot, so I know where they go on. I don't know of any sector in society that called for this constitutional amendment. I don't know of any NGO community, any organization, any individuals. I don't know that was ever wrong. So that I would say that any change to the Constitution has to be organic. It has to begin from some concern that is raised as a legitimate concern by some public entity, and I do not know that exists. Secondly, I think that it is entirely counterproductive that you are passing a law, you are going through the significant expense and effort, including involving people who have nothing to do with the process, like myself, who just wants to come and talk because I believe that the interest is good. And you are going to go through an entire exercise of having people give you their views on the Constitution and what changes need to be done to the Constitution. And then you go as a sideline and then you make a one-off change. The idea is that the changes to the Constitution must be deliberate and it must follow a process of meaningful consultation, like what is going on here. And so one of the things that I would say as a gentle comment is that amendment should not go through. That amendment should be part of the whole consultation process. People should be asked to give their input on whether or not that's really an issue, whether or not they really care about that, whether or not they really want that. And no constitutional amendment should be done unless it can be demonstrated positively by the government that represents a consensus of the people that is a needed change.
As we told you, the 11th Amendment did not go through its third reading, and it is unknown whether it will see the light of day again. The Statistical Institute of Belize today published its latest statistics on Belize's monthly consumer price index survey, which shows that for the month of July 2023, Belizean households saw the cost of regularly purchased goods and services rise by 2.8% when compared to July of 2022. It is of note that this is the lowest recorded since May of 2021. Consumer prices, which began to increase sharply in the months following the start of the pandemic, have seen a gradual slowdown in the rate at which they have been rising since the beginning of this year. Higher food costs were the main driver behind the overall inflation rate for the month of July, although the category of restaurants and accommodation services also recorded a notable rise. The effect of these increases was somewhat offset by lower prices within the transport and housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels categories, as prices for petroleum products continue to decline. With an inflation rate of 5.2%, almost double the national average, Punta Gorda Town recorded the highest rate of increase in consumer prices for July 2023. Consumers in this municipality saw above average increases in the cost of various food items, restaurant services, clothing, laundry products, soaps, home rental costs for chairs, tables, and event venues, and personal hygiene products. On the other hand, Corozal Town recorded the lowest inflation rate at 1.1%, as consumers in this municipality saw lower than average increases in prices for food items, restaurant services, medicine products, laundry products, soaps, detergents, domestic services, and personal hygiene products. Orange Walk Town saw the second lowest inflation rate of 1.4%. Over the 1 month period between June 2023 and July 2023, consumer prices increased by 0.4% on average, the net effect of higher food costs and lower LPG and fuel prices. The year-to-date inflation rate for the first 7 months of 2023 compared to the same period in 2022 was 4.7%. Coming up next, BTB launches art competition. You could be the lucky winner of $5,000. Stay tuned.
Asunción's radiodiagnostics is a radiology service that we provide. It entails the services of ultrasound, X-ray, mammogram, and then we incorporated the laboratory services also. So we are actually in the business of images and laboratory. Soon after graduation, and I came back to Belize, I spent about 15 years in the public service. And that was one of my dreams, to have my own clinic where I can provide and help people. And now NHI that is on board, I mean, that just facilitated everything and speeded up everything that I intended to do in my whole career, to be open and to be accessible to all walks of life people. All right. So I would say that yes, indeed, the NHI is going to serve its purpose, and it's going to be great for the people. They will have access to quality health service. The NHI, to me, was indeed a good venture, and that's the reason I decided, along with the whole staff here, to join, because it's going to benefit the Belizean society at large, and it will bring the medical services to the less privileged people, quality service. It has been proven worldwide that prevention is better than cure. So if we can detect conditions at an early stage and start to treat it, for example, patients with diabetes, hypertension, which is one of the main causes of death in Belize, then we can avoid these complications at an early stage, and then we are not going to burden the expenses on the Ministry of Health, all right, by having patients in the intensive care unit.
Do you want quick cash for your gold? Then take advantage of Monica's Pawn Shop's big loans on gold and our guaranteed low rate of only 10% on all pawn jewelry. But it doesn't stop there. We also pawn TVs, buy scrap gold, and pawn vehicles that you can still drive. Visit Monica's Pawn Shop today in our Belize City location at number 128 Cemetery Road, our Belmopan location at number 5 Garden Plaza, our Orange Walk location, number 2 Belize Corozal Road. Give us a call at 207-0970 and get more money for your gold jewelry.
That's the way, Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Belize's Tourism Through Art is the name dubbed for this year's art competition that is hoping to attract an exhilarating number of paint artists. The competition comes on the heels of World Tourism Day 2023 that is celebrated yearly on September 27, 2023, coincidentally the celebratory month of Belize's independence. This event seeks to invite artists to create captivating masterpieces that divulge the theme of tourism and green investments and showcases Belize's cultural richness, breathtaking landscapes, and exemplary commitment to sustainability. As is evident, the COVID-19 pandemic shattered tourism worldwide, bringing the industry to its knees. But in 2023, tourism is revamping globally, and in Belize, the Belize Tourism Board is one of the major key players that is redefining tourism investments in line with Agenda 2030 and Sustainable Development Goals. Hence, why this year a juicy check of $5,000 will be given out through this art competition.
For this World Tourism Day, we wanted to do something a little bit different at the BTB. And what we decided to do was to have an art competition around the theme for World Tourism Day. So the theme is tourism and green investments. And that is the global theme. And for the art competition, we're basically asking our Belizean artists to interpret this theme and create a painting. And this could be either oil, it could be watercolor, it could be acrylic, or it could be mixed media, and give us your interpretation of this theme. If you are a lover of the arts, I encourage you to share the flyer that we have on our Facebook page with an artist that you might know or somebody that's interested in participating in the competition. If you're an artist, this is definitely something that you should be participating in. We would love to showcase your work. And if there's anybody out there that has questions, they can reach out to us at pr@belizetourismboard.org. The competition is open to artists 16 years and older. You have to be a Belizean, be a legal resident of Belize, living in Belize. And it is open to established artists, experienced artists. It is open to persons who might consider themselves still to be new in the field. One of the things that we wanted to give the opportunity to our artists was to really showcase the range of their skills. And we recognize that they are younger artists who are producing exceptional artwork. And there are older artists as well who would like the opportunity to participate in something like this. So those are the initial requirements. Some of the other things that we're asking is that the artwork that you produce be relevant to the theme. And I could go a bit more into what tourism and green investment speaks to. So when we think about tourism, and one of the things that we've seen post-pandemic is this emphasis for tourism to be a green industry. And for us here in Belize, we're fortunate that we've actually been a couple steps ahead when we talk about our tourism industry. So after the pandemic, we've seen conversations around investing in people. That is one of the investment areas in tourism. And in Belize, for us, this has meant improving the capacity of our tourism workers. It has meant promoting our people, the cultures, the experiences, everything that makes us Belizean is a part of our tourism product. Another green investment also speaks to protecting our environment and protecting our planet. And here in Belize, one of the major draws for visitors, apart from our cultures, is our natural landscapes. The beauty that we have with the diverse range of landscapes, from our barrier reef and keys, to the jungles, to everything that we have to offer. These are all investments that needs to be protected if we're going to have them available for future generations and for tourists to come and enjoy over the next several decades.
To submit your application, there are precise instructions you must follow. You must also be 16 years of age.
One of the first things that we're asking interested participants to do is to read through the full guidelines for the competition. The guidelines are available on the Belize Tourism Board website. www.belizetourismboard.org. We have an image there. It's the first thing that you'll see when you go on the website. You click on that and it will take you to the full guidelines. So after you've familiarized yourself with the guidelines, one of the things we're asking is that you start your artwork and submit to us a digital copy of the artwork. So not the physical artwork as yet. A digital copy would be either a scanned image or it would be a high resolution photograph of the art piece. And for the art pieces, we're asking them if it's oil, if it's acrylic, if it's mixed media, to be done on canvas, watercolor to be done on watercolor paper. For the digital copy, it would just be the photograph, and that would be the first thing that would be judged. So participants have until September 14th to send us that digital copy, and they can send it to pr@belizetourismboard.org by September 14th. The guidelines also includes a submission form. So when you're sending your copy, you send that completed form. It will ask you for a short biography about yourself. It would ask for a short description about the art piece, so we know a bit about the message you're trying to convey. And we're also asking for a portrait photo of the artist. The reason for this being that the next step that we want to do for persons that are shortlisted is to actually have them participate in an exhibit in Belize City. So this will be for persons whose artwork are shortlisted, and the winner, of course, and the winner receives $5,000 cash, and their physical artwork will become property of the BTB and be displayed here at our main office.
To read the entire details of the competition, you can visit the BTB's website. The flyer is also available on the BTB's Facebook page. Remember, the winner takes home $5,000 in cash, and his or her work will be on a 1-month exhibit. That one lucky winner will be announced on World Tourism Day on September 27th, 2023. Total domestic exports for July 2023 amounted to $29.4 million, which is a significant decrease of 31.2% or $13.3 million when compared to exports for July 2022, which were valued at $42.8 million. Revenues were down across all the country's major exports during the month. Earnings from sugar declined by $5.5 million from $11.8 million in July 2022 to $6.4 million in July 2023, owing mostly to the differences in the timing of sugar shipments between last year and this year. Revenues from citrus exports decreased by $2.4 million, mainly due to reduced exports of orange concentrate and orange oil. Earnings from the marine products went down by $1.7 million from $5.9 million to $4.2 million. The combined effect of no whole lobster exports being recorded for July of this year and lower world market prices for lobster tails. Banana exports declined slightly from $7.2 million to $6.8 million, while animal feed exports dropped notably from $4.4 million in July 2022 to $1.2 million in July 2023. The only increases recorded for the month were among a few of the non-major export commodities. Earnings from corn meal went up from $0.2 million in July 2022 to $0.5 million in July 2023, while revenues from pepper sauce rose from $0.3 million to $0.5 million, and pineapple concentrate exports grew from $0.4 million to $0.6 million. Earnings from goods exported to the United States of America declined by $4.7 million, reflecting reduced exports of sugar and molasses for the month. The reduction in sugar exports, coupled with smaller sales of orange oil and orange concentrate, also led to a $4.3 million drop in earnings from the European Union. Owing mostly to the notable downturn in animal feed exports during the month, revenues from Central America were down by $3.2 million from $5.3 million in July 2022 to $2.1 million in 2023. On the other hand, export earnings from CARICOM rose by 1.8 million from 8.4 million to 10.2 million, as Belize exported more sugar, crude soybean oil, and cornmeal to this region during the month. Earnings from the other countries category declined notably from 1.7 million in July 2022 to 2.2 million in July 2023. Merchandise exports for the period January to July 2023 totaled 239.9 million, down 22.3% or 68.9 million from the same period last year, when exports were valued at 308.8 million. Taking a look at Belize's total imports for the month of July 2023, they were valued at 226.9 million. This was an increase of 6.9% or 14.7 million from imports for July 2022, which totaled 212.2 million. Increases were seen in most commodity categories for the month of July, with goods destined for the commercial free zone, as well as machinery and transport equipment. Other manufacturers and food and live animals experiencing major increases compared to the same period last year. The largest driver in this category was goods destined for the commercial free zones, which more than doubled, reflecting the fact that July of last year was the month with the lowest recorded imports into the commercial free zones for the year 2022. As a result, this category was up by a significant 19.1 million from 18 million in July 2022 to 37.1 million in July 2023, with the most notable increases seen in purchases of tennis shoes, clothing, and handbags. Other categories, including mineral fuels and lubricants, manufactured goods, chemical products, and crude materials, on the other hand, experienced a decrease during the month of July 2023. The mineral fuels and lubricants category recorded a 27.5% or 13.9 million reduction from 50.8 million to 36.8 million. This decline was the combined effect of decreased imports of regular gasoline, a lack of premium fuel imports during the month, and lower world market prices for fuel compared to July of last year. Merchandise imports for the first 7 months, January to July of 2023, amounted to 1.519 billion. This represented a 1.5% or 22.8 million decrease from the same period last year, when total imports were valued at $1.542 billion. 4 young Belizeans are heading to the United Kingdom, having won the prestigious Chevening scholarships. Among this year's recipients are Joshua Ramos of the Cayo district, who will be pursuing a master's degree in archaeology at Glasgow University, Scotland; Dr. Joshua Connell of Belize City, who will be pursuing a master's degree in applied infectious disease epidemiology (AID) at the University College of London; Marita Mejia of the Stan Creek district, who will pursue a master's in special education needs and inclusion at the University of Northampton; and Christy Joanne Garbott of Independence Village, who will be pursuing a master's degree in educational leadership and change at the University of Durham. The 4 recipients today met with the British High Commissioner in Belize as they prepare to leave the country. The opportunity to study in the UK, according to Dr. Joshua Connell, comes as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity which he hopes to use to better the health sector in Belize.
It's been an honor, a privilege. It's exciting, it's a new adventure, and a great opportunity for me to be able to go and study in the UK at one of the top-ranking universities in the world. And being considered for the scholarship, really and truly, I am grateful.
So, talk to us about the hard work that you have to put into to receive the scholarship.
So, I honestly think like the hard work began before applying for the scholarship, because for you to become a Shivner, be chosen or selected for Shivning, you have to have certain leadership skills and certain leadership, play leadership roles. And I think over the years, I have developed a lot of these skills and roles. Of course, I'm still learning. But all of that I've done, the work that I've done over the past couple of years since I've graduated as a medical practitioner, I think has positioned me where I was able to achieve getting a Shivning scholarship.
So talk to us about some of the work that you've been doing in Belize and then what you will be studying in the youth.
Okay, so I have participated in the field epidemiology training program, which was a program that was provided by the Ministry of Health. And that was in times of COVID, which for me was excellent because as a surveillance focal point, I had to know certain epidemiological concepts, principles, and certain public health interventions. And I believe that it has helped me. And it is actually where my focus is going to be when I'm going to study. I will be studying at the University College of London, applied infectious disease epidemiology. And I think that given the global condition when it comes to infectious diseases and the transmission, especially because we have intercontinental travel every day, diseases spread much quicker, infectious disease spread much quicker. And so this degree would then allow me to have knowledge and skills to employ or deploy if there is another threat in the country of Belize.
There is a public meeting scheduled for tomorrow in Corozal Town and you are invited. We are referring to the Corozal Citizens Advisory Committee and the Police Department Community-Oriented Policing Unit. The group will be having their monthly community meeting at the Corozal Central Park on tomorrow, Thursday, August 3rd, 2023, starting at 6 p.m. The Corozal Citizens Advisory Committee is a group of individuals whose work is aimed at having a safer Corozal community inclusive of the villages. The close work relationship with the Corozal Police Department and other NGOs collectively seeks to bring the community together to discuss issues affecting the public. If there is an issue pressing your mind, tomorrow you will have an opportunity to make it known. Again, the public meeting begins at 6 p.m. tomorrow at the Corozal Central Park. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Thursday, August 31st here on Ctv3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe from all of us here at Ctv3 News. Thank you for watching and listening. Good night.